Before you can have true intimacy with somebody else, you need to have true intimacy with yourself. And being intimate with yourself is loving all aspects of you. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talks with Griff. And before I get into this, I just want to say thank you and I love you to all of my listeners. You boys and gals are the truth. Y'all keep this thing rolling, keep sharing it, keep liking it, keep coming in with questions, keep sending me questions, keep sending me topics. I am here for it. Uh, Today is just going to be me. It's just going to be me. I got a few things here that some people wanted me to discuss, give y'all my assertion on my perspective. And I really like this idea. I got a few things here that I'm going to discuss and break down to y'all. Again, it's my perspective. Uh, take what you can from it. Some of it's truth, some of it's not truth, whatever it may be. All right, let's go ahead and get into this, man. All right, so the first thing that a lot of people, men and women, have been hitting me up about is semen retention. A lot of people have been hitting me up about semen retention, and I like that. That's cool. So let me go ahead on and give y'all my own personal testimonial with semen retention and how I got on the path of it. I actually started my personal development journey around 2014. To make a long story short, I was on my way to work. I got into an accident. I totaled my vehicle. Thank goodness that the other people were safe. And then I got to work that same day, and then I got fired that same day as well. So you can only imagine the amount of energy that was going on within me at that point in time. And so, I get back to the house, I'm just laying in the bed and I'm like, I what the hell is next? You know what I mean? Like, where is this money going to come from? How am I going to make rent? Da, 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 da. And for a minute, I didn't know what the hell to do. I just got tired of feeling weak. I got tired of feeling like a bitch because I knew that internally that's not who I was at my core. I just couldn't understand how to really cultivate that energy in a healthy way so that way I can start to move forward within it. It was frustrating for me, extremely frustrating for me, but I ended up, pushing through that, obviously. So maybe a few days later, maybe three, maybe a week, I don't know. Again, I was laying in bed, I woke up and I'm just looking at the ceiling and I'm like, man, there's got to be more to this, that there has to be another option. There has to be another way for me to ascend past this. And that's how I started my fitness journey. I decided that I wanted a six pack, looked that up, boom, ended up doing that. And then from that point on, I really started walking this path of personal development. And I found out about the NoFap community. I found out about the pickup community. And I dabbled in both of them, especially the pickup community, but that just seemed really fake to me. It didn't seem like anything that really resonated with my spirit because I just seemed like I was being something that I wasn't to get mundane pussy at the end of the day. No slight towards women or anything like that. It just seemed like I was being taken advantage of, and I didn't really like that. Aside from the fact that the shit wasn't even working for me, so that right there within itself is a telltale sign. Um, no fap, wasn't really about that. It just didn't seem to resonate by any means necessary. But then I found out about the semen retention thing from Osho and a few other gurus and yogis online. And then I started doing my own research as to what exactly it was, how long has it been around, different ancient practices and this of that nature. So I was like, this seems like the reason to do it. And obviously, I'm not even I'm going to keep it 100 with y'all. I got into it for the wrong reasons. And this is exactly what I don't want you other men to do. Don't start semen retention just because it's going to make you more attractive. It's going to raise your frequency and you're going to have women attracted to you energetically. Yes, that will happen. But if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, you can easily fall off the path. So just keep that in mind, man. If this is something that you're going to be experimenting with, just know that it's for your highest good. there are benefits to it, yes, but this journey is solely meant for you. It's meant for you to gain control of your life, to gain sexual mastery, to gain extreme clarity and cognitive function. Okay. So, and I ended up getting into it for the wrong reasons in the beginning. The longest I went initially starting was about 45 days. Now, I didn't touch my penis. I didn't do anything with it. I just held it. And then over time, I started noticing some changes. I started noticing a lot of high energy. I started noticing that I was getting more quality of sleep. I was, more vigorous. I had more vigor into the things that I was doing, but I really didn't understand like where to put this energy because it's like going Super Saiyan for the first time. If you don't know what to do with it, you can easily become self-destructive, and that's not the route that I wanted to go. So that's just a little segue into how I got started on it and how I've been practicing it for almost 7 years now, and it's definitely been a journey within itself. Just to give y'all some insight as to the benefits of it. You definitely get to strengthen your PC muscles, and it's ultimately a segue into you completely releasing yourself from pornography. I cannot stress that enough. If you are a man out there and you struggle with pornography, I'm not saying that you're addicted or anything of that nature. If you struggle with the habit of watching pornography frequently and it's something that you want to break, then I highly invite you to experiment with semen retention because within you doing that, that's going to allow you to build your natural sexual energy again so that way you won't feel the need to receive something from an external source so that way you can fulfill your sexual desires. Semen retention basically brings you back into your primal state of what it's like, when you see a sexy woman, when you smell something, when you get stimulated mentally and you get aroused by these things, it's ultimately getting you back to the foundation of what true sexual desire is and how you can cultivate it within yourself so that way you can apply it in a healthy manner. Man, it definitely helps you with breathing as well because sometimes you're gonna wake up and you're just gonna have all of this energy. You're not gonna know exactly what to do with it by any means necessary. But over time, you find different ways to move that sexual energy around within your body so that way you're not feeling like a slave to your penis. You know what I mean? There's this quote that I live by now, and it's a man who is a slave to his penis. You basically are a slave to the world at the end of the day. But if you are the master of your penis, or if you're the master of your sexual urges, if you're the master of your sexual pleasure, then you become the master of your life. You become the master of your world. You become the master of your ego. But it first starts with the root. And we're primal beings. So at the end of the day, it's definitely going to be one of those things that will be difficult for us to handle, but there's no doubt in my mind that each and every one of you can achieve success within that. When it comes to semen retention, I definitely would say that it is challenges that you must overcome individually within your own journey so that way you can move past those trials and tribulations on your own. Some of those things may be not being used to having an abundance of energy within you at all times and not knowing to do with it. Sometimes the energy can be transmuted into anger. Sometimes it can be transmuted into sadness or depression, depending on what it is that you choose to focus on, because wherever your attention goes, energy flows. So I would invite you to be very mindful about what it is that you choose to put your intention and attention on when you feel those days so that you're like, man, I got this abundance of energy. I'm not sure what it is that I want to do with it. I'm not sure if I just want to bust a nut. I'm not sure if I want to go watch porn. I don't really know what it is that I want to do. When you have those times, and you will have those times, when you have those times, breathe, step outside, get some fresh air, meditate, listen to affirmations, listen to a podcast, do some yoga for sure. Stretch and lengthen your muscles because that tension is just aiding in that stressful environment within your temple, and that's definitely something that you don't want. But find other avenues to release this energy in a healthy manner so that way you don't feel like you're a slave to it. And over time, when those moments come or that you just get this rush of it, it'll be something that you can easily handle. You know what I mean? It'll be something just within a moment, boom, it's done and it's taken care of and you can move past it. I'm not saying that it's going to be easy at all times, but the more you practice using alternative routes to get past it, that's when it definitely will become easier in the long run. The next thing that I want to talk about that a lot of people have been hitting me up about is intimacy, specifically true intimacy, and what that means within itself. Now, what I have noticed when it comes to intimacy within my journey is that intimacy is more than being physically attracted to somebody. And I know that y'all may be thinking like, well, obviously that's the case, but we live in a society today where that everything is based off of physical attractions anyways. Like if, as long as they look good, you probably gonna stick your penis in it or you gonna probably suck it. And that is not the case. True intimacy, you can still be physically attracted to somebody. That I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but it's what you choose to focus on at the end of the day. I digress. Intimacy is it's magical. It's holding a safe space with that person and that person doing the same for you. It's truly allowing yourself to be open and transparent with another human being without you judging yourself based on your journey, the quote unquote mistakes that you may have made within your lifetime. You know, it's ultimate transparency, it's compassion, and it's true chemistry at the end of the day. You can be completely intimate and never have had a physical encounter with somebody. That's just how powerful that chemistry and that intimacy can be within a man or within a woman, with man to man or with woman to woman. It's it's an energetic thing. One way that I like to describe true intimacy is that it's it's effortless. You know, when you're watching basketball and then you just see this person, they're just hot the whole game. They're just hot all 4 quarters, and it just seems like what they're doing is effortless. Is because they're not in their egotistical mind at that point in time. You know, they're complete within their body. They're completely present with that person. I feel like a lot of people within our generation today, and with the way that the world is going, a lot of people are so focused on what they can gain from the other person, completely being selfish within that moment and not thinking about or truly appreciating that that person is choosing to share their energy with you, is choosing to hold space with you, is choosing to accept you and be in that moment with you. Because when you understand that they absolutely do not have to do that, your perspective switches. Okay, so I would invite you all to be very, very present and within your body the next time you are around somebody or you're speaking to somebody. And it doesn't even have to be a significant other. It could be a friend, it can be a parent, it can be a mentor, or it can be a coach, anybody of that nature. But the next time you are around them, truly allow yourself to be present within that moment so that way they can feel you, so that way you can feel and receive them. Because at the end of the day, you both are intertwined with one another. It's like the affinity symbol, you know what I mean? As long as you're there present with them, you'll be there and you'll feel it. Everybody knows what it's like when they're around somebody and their physical body is there, but they are somewhere else. We all have experienced that. And I myself have definitely been triggered by that because, and triggered in the sense of, I'm not mad at this person because I don't know exactly what it is that they're experiencing at that point in time, but whatever it is that their spirit is calling them to focus on, obviously that's something that is um, of more importance to them at that point in time. That doesn't take away the connection that this person and I share. Of course, sometimes that's the way that it is, but it's also, it can feel like an energetic discord when you're with somebody and you know you're choosing to be present within that moment. You're choosing to focus solely on them. You're not on your phone all the goddamn time. You're just really immersed within your body, being present and feeling out this divine being that's in front of you. And then there's somewhere else. You can feel it. You can look at them. They're not engaging you in the way that they used to. They don't they don't have that gleam in their eye. They're just gone somewhere else. And who knows how long this could be for? But we all have experienced that. It's definitely something that within that moment we should really allow compassion for that person and not be so quick to jump the gun, because we don't know exactly what it is that person is experiencing at that point in time. So just be mindful of that. Communication and transparency is definitely something that makes true intimacy thrive. And that communication aspect comes from you not judging you. A lot of people are afraid. Let me rewind. A lot of people say that they want something true. A lot of people say that they want something real, men and women. But the minute they get it, the minute they experience something that is authentic, the minute they experience something that is organic, they honestly don't know what the fuck to do with it, because it literally shocks their system. They're like, this person is not judgmental of themselves by any means necessary. This is exactly what I've asked for. And now that it's here within me, I have no idea what the fuck to do with it. Why is that? Because that person is still judging themselves. That person is still allowing their fears to get the best of them, because they're afraid that if they share something with you, if they're completely open with you within that moment, that you may judge them for something. And the only thing that's holding that person back is fear of judgment from themselves. They feel like, or they may feel like, this is embarrassing for me. So if I share this with this person is going to judge me. All that means, for my assertion, is that individual hasn't taken the time to heal from whatever that traumatic experience may be, because it's still within the body. It's still something that causes them pain. It's still something that obviously makes them uncomfortable. So they're definitely going to struggle with being able to be transparent with you and communicate with you on an authentic basis, because they haven't fully forgiven themselves for whatever it is that it may be, right? So, and a lot of people speak on communication. A lot of people have this idea of what communication is and how it relates to intimacy. But if you're transparent within yourself, and if you've done the work to heal, to look at those things that are disgusting, so that way you can be able to talk about them in a healthy manner, you no longer feel the need to hold back when you're in conversation with somebody who you're vibing with at the end of the day. Now, I'm not saying that you've healed everything. Obviously, we're all still healing within, excuse me, we're all still healing within, this year today. And it's been an amazing year thus far, despite all of the healing and everything, but we're all still healing. We're all still growing at a very rapid rate, one that is uncomfortable, but is also beautiful at the same time. So allow yourself grace for the things that you haven't healed from, and if you feel safe enough and comfortable enough to express that to that person, just let them know. Be like, hey, I'm still, that's still something that is quite uncomfortable for me to talk about at this point in time. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to ever be able to talk about it with you. I just need to make sure that I'm okay with it within myself first before I can articulate it to you in a healthy manner. And if that person is compassionate enough, they will definitely understand where you're coming from with that, and they will hold that space for you, and they will allow you the time to heal and express it to them whenever you feel called to do it, right? So it's communication starts with the self. And to bring this back full circle, true intimacy, aside from judging yourself, is you being transparent with you first. If you can be transparent with you first, if you can keep it a G with you first, call yourself out on the things that you haven't healed from, call yourself out when your ego is flaring up, call yourself out when you're triggered, really take the time to look at all of these things that make you uncomfortable as fuck, and you heal from that. The next time you are in a situation where you get triggered, or where you're in a situation to where they may be slightly uncomfortable for you to speak on the situation, but you still speak on it, that within itself is a telltale sign that you have healed from that event, because now you can talk about it openly. And a lot of people will resonate with that. Within you doing that, other people will feel safe enough within themselves to be honest with themselves, thus allowing them to be honest and transparent with you. Before you can have true intimacy with somebody else, you need to have true intimacy with yourself. And being intimate with yourself is loving all aspects of you, the skeletons in the closet, the times when you look good, the times when you don't feel good, the times when you don't want to get out of bed, the times when you're having a shitty day, the times when you're up on top of the world. True intimacy is loving you throughout all of those aspects of your life, looking back on them, appreciating those moments where you felt down, appreciating those moments when you were up, because the moments when we're quote unquote down shape who we are. That's how we're able to allow ourselves to become more open with other people that we meet, because we see that they're just a reflection of us. It allows us to be more authentic, and it allows us to stay true to who we really are at the end of the day. All of you, I'm sure you know that we both have masculine and feminine energies within us. Now, in my assertion, I believe that it's crucial for our development as human beings within this experience to do the work and cultivate the other energy that's within us so that way we can fully integrate it into our being. What does that mean? As a man, I would say that I am obviously, or any man for that matter, would be mostly masculine, mostly masculine. Now, that is a bit of a stretch, because there's some men who you see that are their physical appearance isn't masculine, but they may exhibit a lot of feminine qualities. They may exhibit a lot of feminine traits. And again, that doesn't mean that there's any slight towards them at all. That's just that person at their natural core, at their essence. A woman could be more masculine. I mean, we've all seen it. There's a lot of women within the world today that definitely have a masculine essence about them. It's an essence that is rooted so deep within them, simply because they are the womb energy and they are the beginning and the end of everything. But for us as divine masculine, a lot of us need to take the time to really look at that other energy source within us, and also figure out, how do we apply that to our own life? What do we have to do on a daily basis to really exhibit feminine traits or cultivate feminine traits within us that allow us to step into our full integration? And what I mean by full integration is just ultimately balance, understanding that you can't have one without the other. Some days you may be masculine, some days you may be more feminine, and it's going to be the opposite sides of the coin. But to give you an example, for me, my feminine aspects lie within me being bougie with how I take care of my temple. For the people that know me outside of this platform, y'all know the boy likes face masks. The boy likes getting his eyebrows done. I'm always taking care of my hair, this 4C hair that's so damn curly and rich and beautiful, but I gotta treat it like a plant, because if I don't, the shit gets dry. I take care of my skin. It's just, I do. And that didn't always come natural to me. I'm not even gonna cap with y'all. That didn't come natural to me at all. I can't believe I just said I'm not gonna cap with y'all. Wow. That didn't come natural to me at all, man. I it wasn't like I never really took the time out to take care of myself. I always did. I just didn't do it with the intention that I have now. And by that I mean, it's like I want to take care of my temple. I want my temple to be in the best shape that it can possibly be from the inside out. And for me to do that, it takes work. Who doesn't like glowing skin? Who doesn't like rich, soft, velvety skin? Who doesn't like that? Who doesn't like rich hair? Who doesn't like a nice, coated, brushed, full, hydrated beard? Who doesn't like these things? And some people may look at that as like, oh man, you doing too much. But it's like, nah, it's like, I'm not doing too much. I'm doing just enough, because this is how I relate to the feminine within me. Now, I also, like going to get massages. I like taking time out to remove those toxins by going to a spa, sitting in a sauna for a little bit, doing anything and everything to tap into that tenderness that's within me as a man because it allows me to balance out that aggression. If you have too much of the other, then you really are unstable at that point. You don't want to just be walking around spazzing out all the time as a man. Like, first of all, what woman likes that? And number two, you are basically a boy. You're a grown infant at the end of the day, and nobody likes that. Come on, bro, you got to get it together. I'm not saying that you have to go about cultivating your feminine in the way that I do. I also like to play music, and I think music is a direct correlation to the feminine within me because it's a sensual aspect to my being of who I am. It, for the people that that know me, I've been playing guitar self-taught for about 9 years now. And the first instrument that I picked up was a trumpet in high school. Now, I didn't know the first thing about reading music at all, but I'm really thankful that I had that experience because music, for me, it's another aspect of how I express the feminine energy within me because we have to express that. That is also energy within us that we have to get out. Another way that is really crucial for us as men and women, I need you to listen to this and be very open with this as well. This aspect, and this ties into the true intimacy thing as well. We have to learn how to become comfortable with releasing the pain and the toxins within us by crying. Okay. That real ease is the most ultimate form of healing that we can have as men within this world today. It's the ultimate form of healing that we can have within this world today. And that within itself is the feminine. Because, at least for me, I've always looked at it as like when a man is crying, from my perspective, that's him at his most open, but that is also him at his most vulnerable, simply because the world has really dictated and governed and has really demasculated what it means for a man to cry. And it's complete horseshit, okay? Don't sit there with that energy bottled up within you because you'll get bitter, you'll get cynical, you'll get angry, and you'll start doing things that you don't mean simply because you feel like you don't have this avenue of, you don't have this avenue to release all of these things within you. But it's tough, man, because when a man gets around a woman that he truly appreciates, a woman that he truly is connected with, some women, not all women, some women honestly don't know how to receive that transparency when a man is crying. They honestly don't know what the fuck to do with it. And it's interesting because they say that they want it, but the minute they get it and it's right in front of them, they judge that man for it within that moment. They may ridicule him. They may call him a pussy. They may tell him that he's weak. They may tell him that he doesn't know what it's like to be a man. They may tell him that he needs to be a man's man. And all of these degrading things to tell men. And it's just like, no wonder why men don't feel safe enough to cry in front of anybody for that matters, because some of us don't feel like it's accepted to cry within society today. And I'm telling you now, as a man who has become comfortable with crying, do that more. Allow yourself that time more, because there's nothing like it. You know, within that moment that whatever it is that you may be crying about, you are releasing so many toxins within the body that need to come out. And a lot of people, some people like to suppress that. And you don't want to suppress those toxins within somebody. You don't want to tell them that they're not allowed to express that, because their body needs to release that. Our bodies need to release that. We are heavily conditioned with the pressures of feeling the need to provide. I really invite all of the men that's listening to this right now to test it out for yourself, man. Anytime you start to feel, that tightness in the chest, anytime you start to feel like your throat's closing up, that's your body telling you something. That's your body telling you that we need to let this go. This doesn't serve us anymore. We need to move on from this so that way we can move on to the next thing. And ladies, I know it may seem like I'm coming at y'all hard within this last point that I'm making, and I apologize for that. But as the feminine y'all are the healing aspects. Y'all are that womb energy, like y'all are that nurturing energy. Who better than a man to go to than this woman to cry within her arms, to cry within her chest, because that's one of the places, if not the most place where he feels safest enough to do that. But as a woman, if you don't hold that space for him, if you don't hold that safe space to make him feel like he's able to come to you and do that within you, he's never going to feel comfortable enough to do that in front of you. He's never going to feel comfortable enough to share that aspect of himself with you because he feels judged by it. Okay. So do what you do best and just hold him, allow him that time to release all of that, because the truth of the matter is that he absolutely need it. We all need it. But it starts with you all as well. It's two sides of the same coin. We have to work together within union so that we all can succeed. So I would invite you to just really, the next time you experience a man crying in front of you, whether he's crying on the phone, whether he's crying on FaceTime, whether he's standing right in front of you and he's on his knees and he's just, the weight of the world is getting to him and he just has no idea where it is that he's going within his life. You don't want him to set up camp there, obviously, but root yourself within that moment. Be present with him. Cry with him. Stay there with him. It's one of the most important moments of y'all's connection of life for you to be able to experience that with that man, because you don't know how many times that man has done it. That could be that man's first time crying and you will never know it simply because you chose to judge him within that moment. But he felt safe enough. He felt transparent enough to look at you and to completely surrender to all the pain and all the discomfort that he's been feeling. Think about that. Meditate on that the next time you experience that. I know I just got a little heavy on y'all, but that's one that definitely hits home to me for sure. It's something that I've been thinking about recently. These are just a few things that I had on my mind. Nothing too crazy. I definitely will be back with some more. And again, if y'all have questions, if y'all have concerns, if y'all want to hop in one day and just sit down and chat, shoot me a DM, shoot me an email. Let's schedule something. Let's make it happen. Let's have an open and honest conversation. This is a safe space. Stay within your sovereignty. Breathe, release. Have a blessed day.